Welcome to Beyond the Rift. I am your host, DeamonMachine, and this is my co-host, Revel. This is our web show where we tell you all about new things and new interesting things in SMITE. And ironically, that music timed up quite well with that intro. I was very, very impressed by that. So we're going to run over the quick news of the, I guess, week and a half. If you have been paying attention over the weekend, the My Revenge tournament and the ESL tournament happened, and results were had that I have written down in places because I do remember them, but I want to make sure I am correct. Whew. Holy crap, they were actually a long time ago. For the ESL Battleground Gods number 4, Bipolar Method came in first, Juice came in second, with Procore in third, and BLG EU in fourth. And so that was that results, which was quite an interesting game. It was very up and down and all sorts of all around. It was very good. You should check out the next one, which will inevitably happen, I think, this weekend.
Yes, indeed.
And then, of course, the My Revenge Cup happened with the winners were Procore with BLG EU in second, Outlaw Esports in third, and My Revenge. Sorry, I got that. Did I write that backwards, really?
Yes, you really did.
I did write that backwards.
That is awesome.
So My Revenge was in fourth, I believe, but I wrote it down in third, and it's actually not in order. Anyway, continuing on. Yes. Let's see. Spray Yarn joins Outlaw Esports. No. Bipolar Method as their sixth member. There we go. I'm having to do all this stuff off the cuff. That's how awesome it is.
I can tell.
Yes, it is. Other than that, there's been a lot of interesting patches. Like this patch has been quite interesting. There's been lots of anger and lots of happiness and lots of rage and lots of people rage quitting. And so that's what we're going to be discussing tonight with all of our lovely panel of people that are not above me yet, but they will be in just a minute. So that's that's mostly the news that's relevant.
And the crazy patch. I mean, wow.
That's pretty much what I said. Yeah. I think that covers it. So, joining us tonight, I'll run through everybody real quick, is JKKennedy, Cooper from WOGL, Alecyte from BLG, PonPonWeiWeiWei from Outlaw Esports, dmbrandon from Juice Gaming, aka Blight Gaming, and Stermes, who is no longer on BLGNA, but in fact on Procore Gaming. So I'll have to rename him later when I have time. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and don't everybody get excited at the same time. I want you to take turns getting excited, and then you can speak.
And then you can all have... Yes.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, who would like to go first and just say hello and welcome to the stream?
I think Coop wants to go first.
I think he does.
Oh, thanks.
We're subtle.
Thanks,
See?
I guess I shouldn't have been a smartass. Thanks for... having me on here to discuss the patch and Woggle news this week, and it's always fun watching you guys, and glad to be a part of it finally.
Coop is nervous.
Yeah, that's
He's cool. He's cool.
He's drank a whole bottle of water.
And yes, Ames in the chat. We have had Spoo on from Bipolar Method before, so it's 3 a.m. for him, so he's not usually awake. So it's just kind of like they have to take special events to show up. So I try to get the EU guys on there from time to time, but most of them are sleeping.
All right.
So.
And we have also Stermes joining us today, who is in an actual... Wow, really?
I just ended that there.
Stermes is wearing a clean yellow hoodie and joining us tonight.
Yep.
Oh,
and he has muted himself, apparently.
He is thoroughly muted. As he figures out, nope, still muted.
We don't hear you. Oh, that's what happened. Apparently, when lost the connection was my internet tweaking out.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, isn't that special? So while we get this call back from the...
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I liked it. Here we go, coming back soon. So, we're going to talk about the patch tonight. We have our awesome guy here. For those of you who can still watch it, we'll go ahead and go over with you. We will have dmbrandon joining us. He is always interesting. And PonPonWeiWeiWei, also very interesting. With Kennedy and
why is the call not
Alecyte.
coming back?
I don't know.
I mean, like, we're streaming and everything. We have everybody here, but the call is just like derp.
How about if I do this and this? That works fine on mine.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm having a problem connecting to you, so I'll hang up.
Apparently.
And then...
Yeah. There you go.
Wait, what the hell just happened?
I don't know. You called the group.
I did call the group, but it should let me join the group.
I'll just call you.
Yes, just call me. Anyway, so we will be live programming at its best. I mean, that's pretty much what you got to deal with. There we are. It's join call now.
So.
There. Are we back? Yay, we're back. And of course it ruins.
Of course.
It ruined everything.
Well, duh.
There we go.
Ah.
Back to normal.
Who says we can't troubleshoot on the fly?
Oh, dude, remember when we built a computer in 10 minutes
Yeah,
to
that
be
was
ready for
awesome.
the calling computer?
Yeah. Out of 3 other computers.
Out of
no
3
less.
other computers that were sitting in my
Yeah,
studio.
So, where
So,
were we?
right.
Stermes has a clean hoodie.
Right.
Right.
Stermes has a clean hoodie. So, I
And
guess
he is
Stermes...
apparently an incredibly awesome Smite player.
We were
Everyone
asking
wants him on
Stermes
his team.
about how he was doing, and he was muted, and that was what
yes,
was going on.
Yes, because he just
It's
joined
still
Procore Gaming. Right?
Are you there now, Stermes?
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm here.
Yay.
Welcome. So you just joined Procore Gaming.
Yeah.
Don't get all excited on us now.
I know.
I mean-
don't like show us how thrilled you are about that
I'm
change.
thinking it's hard.
Good sign.
Nice.
Good sign.
He's so excited he's speechless. So,
I know.
PonPon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I had a interesting day and then a long string of losses in ranked, but overall I've been good. Running
Excellent.
on caffeine right now.
Ah,
Nice. Living on caffeine is the best thing to do.
Those long strings of losses. Don't you love it?
It happens.
Yes.
I got lucky and I got a huge win streak, so I was due for it anyway.
That happens.
Nice. So, DmBrandon, how are you doing today?
Averagely.
Averagely, you've had the night off, so has your day
Normal
not been
in
okay?
America.
You've had the
Yeah.
night off, so are you at least
Yeah.
happy about that? You don't have to hear the dude come in there and be like, "Yo, man, you got like that Black Ops."
That Black Ops. Is it called that Black Ops?
That Black
It has
Ops.
to be in that order. That Black Ops.
Nice.
And yes, we do.
Sweet. Kennedy, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Thursday night, that means tomorrow's Friday, so that's a look forward to every day.
Yes, for all of us people that work normal jobs, unlike Brandon, we have the weekend off.
Oh, man.
So, shall we jump right into this patch? Who would like to go on the rant first? Because I know all of you have your lovely rants that you would like to go on. First person to raise their hand gets to go in.
That's Coop.
Brandon can't win this match, so.
Coop's
I was
got it.
pointing to Stermes.
Oh.
Oh, Stermes
I
is
forgot
on
the
the other side.
All right, Stermes.
All right, Stermes, you win the vote. Go first with your rant, and make sure to speak loudly and into the microphone.
Do I have to?
No. Well,
Yes, actually you do,
yes,
because you're
yeah.
kind of quiet. So,
or you could move it down to actually your mouth. That would.
it looks like
Is
you're.
that better?
Yes, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much with this patch, they changed it to 4 gold per second, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And
did.
before it was 2 gold. So if you were to just sit in base and do nothing, that would average about, let's say, 120 gold per minute.
Sure.
Now it's 240 because it's doubled.
Right.
Not to mention you're getting creep kills and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite a bit, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it because it's causing the games to be a lot shorter than they should be. But I guess they've gotten a lot of backlash from it, and they're already deciding to put it back to about 3 gold per second now.
I want to know why anyone could possibly think that games being shorter is a bad thing. Like, who the fuck wants to sit there for 40 minutes 6 times in a row? Like, 20-minute games, it's perfect. Like, I
you
think
have
4 maybe a little
Domination
much,
and-
3 is good, but like people are complaining about tower damage, towers need more health, phoenixes need more health, the Minotaur needs to kill you in 2 hits. Like, I'm not trying to sit here for 45 minutes to watch you feed me.
I want my experience, and I want my win, and I want to go.
Well, we have
That's it.
game modes
Exactly.
now for the people that want to just play their 20 minutes. But with longer game modes, if it's even close, those games might not last 40 minutes. If it's not close, it's 20 minutes. I mean, if you have Brandon in there and he's doing great and not feeding, I mean,
Right.
it should be great.
Not all games are best of 3 either, unless we plan to make a new unless we plan to make that the standard for it is.
I vote new standard.
If it's 20-minute games, then require it to be best of 3.
I mean, it should be best of 3 anyway.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Best of 1 is complete nonsense. I don't know what tournament in the world decided that this was okay, but you're all wrong about that. Like, very, very wrong. It's stupid and dumb, and you should all feel bad about yourself. Like, immediately. Best of
I mean,
1.
it's true with the best of 1. You get lucky. You get a good kill. You get the first blood. You know, you get that one thing that turns the game, and then you're winning the tournament. And there's no recovery. You know.
I mean, like, we've lost tournaments because it was best of 1. You know, people got like one good play towards the end, and that was it.
Yep.
And that's silly because like you could play well all game, drop one single death. One death could ruin your entire tournament. Especially single elimination best of 1 for like tournaments with money in them. Like, Not a good look.
I was waiting for the name. Go ahead.
The shortness of the game kind of hurts certain roles, essentially. Roles that do better from a longer game, maybe. The shortness of making the game so short makes all carries just the most powerful there is in anything. That's all you need.
Disagree. Tanks and bruisers right now are the best. Carries are probably the weakest right now. That's just wrong.
My colleague game has gotten significantly weaker since the patch hit because I mean
like
the second
Baby Odin,
the tanks
Guan Yu right now. Ooh.
Yeah, tanks getting more gold is gonna be really, really hurtful for like the first Gold Fury.
That's the Guan Yu's only negative is that he needs gold to be scary. You just put gold in that dude's pocket and he's just dashing you for half your health. It's stupid.
Well, then I guess the biggest problem is you have full item builds before you're level 15.
No, I think the problem is that the moves are unbalanced, which they're doing a good job of fixing. Except for Thor.
Thor is a whole nother
We're not there
topic.
yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say,
BLT?
Alecyte?
Oh, I don't know. I totally lost my point as Brandon started talking.
How about you, Cooper? Especially with the
Win-win.
best of one thing, since you have
Experience?
experience with the tournaments.
What's the question? Why was it best of one?
Yes, that's the question. Best of one.
Best of one.
Just that was just the collective decision. It was just that's what it was. There was really no reasoning behind it at all.
All right. Well,
There we go.
There's a good answer. That's the way.
But you also got to think best of 3 would be horrendous to watch best of 3 of a crappy team being slaughtered.
So it's only
Well,
goes
I mean,
on.
that's any.
I mean,
tournament.
those games are quick anyway.
Round one, if you seed the tournament correctly, round one is always going to be someone versus Stomp, or you find like 2 really good mid-level teams because that'll be kind of interesting. And some new players get the spotlight, and then as the tournament progresses, the good players will advance and advance and advance until that's pretty much all you're watching.
Right.
So you're only going to see like 1 to 2 sets of 2 out of 3 with teams you're not going to care about, especially with SMITE. I mean, there's probably going to be 1 round of that. I mean, if you look at the Woggle tournament setup, there's literally 1 round where it's not like really hard. Like the first round for all the top teams is kind of like a stomp, and then after that it's just like nonsense. Like I think we'll go up against Aspect, and then Procore is up against like BLGEU. Like it gets harder and harder and harder as you go along. So I mean that's not that big of a deal, and no one's watching the tournament at the first couple minutes. Think of that as like the advertising phase to like make sure everyone starts watching.
Yeah.
Because not everyone's a loser stream monster that's going to be sitting on the stream before the tournament starts.
Well, loser
Very
stream
true.
monster. What?
And to add in, I mean, I guess there is the collective reasoning, I guess, if you can call it a reasoning for the best of one, was because it was such a long season and it was the first one of its kind. We wanted a separation of excitement between the playoffs and the regular season. So by making the regular season 1 game, when you made it to the playoffs, it made it feel like you accomplished something. That's the only thing I can think of would be the actual reasoning behind it.
So what you were saying was that they wanted to bore you to death with the season and then hopefully get some excitement in the finals.
Well,
the only
we hope it didn't turn out that way, but I guess go look on.
I mean, the only reason I could have seen for like a best of one type scenario is time constraints. If you have a ton of teams and you need to get through it in a day, but at least make a double elimination if you're going to do that.
Well, I guess you could go single elimination for the first couple rounds.
Yeah,
If you have them seeded, if they're seeded properly.
No.
You don't think that would work? If you were trying to run a tournament in a day on the weekend, don't you think it would be best to do a best of one at the beginning, like with the first 2 or 3 rounds?
I run tournaments on the weekend for a lot of games, and if you ever allow certain people to get certain, like for round 1 and 2, you do single elimination, like those people are going to flip the fuck out. Plain and simple. You're always going to have a riot. Everyone has to have the same playing field, or you're just full of shit.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, that is valid.
It's not that that's a very good point. That's the actual idea. It's the other thing is really bad point. This is a normal point. This is like the mid-level of points.
It's the average point.
It kind of goes back to like if that one mistake, if during that best of one round, a really great team that should be over a mediocre team makes that one mistake, then they're automatically out.
Not to mention if you have 9 top-tier teams.
Exactly.
In a 16-man bracket.
I have no disagreements that 20-minute games are much better for the viewer.
Yeah.
And
football
for them watching it and stuff. But we're doing that's why you do best of 3. You have 3 20-minute games. That way you get like quarters. It's almost like 3 quarters or 4 quarters or whatever. However you want to run it.
Said 3 quarters. That's funny.
Hey, 3 quarters makes 75 cents. So
It
I
does.
didn't even catch it at
you
first.
can get
but
a
you
can
corrected
of Coke
yourself
for
and
that.
You brought me in.
you can get can of Coke for 75 cents. Thank you, Stermes.
Hey, I don't teach during the night.
It's like I teach English.
All right, so we want to get back on to our rants. I guess, Alecyte, would you like to go next? Because I know you've been preparing your...
Well,
Long
I haven't
lineage.
really been doing it. Stermes, I thought I had a more prepared rant. It was going to like yell at everything in the world. Nah, it's like, or it's just the extra gold per second. It never feels like you're doing badly. Like, I've gotten absolutely destroyed in lane the other day, and I just built kind of tanky, and I never felt behind the person. I was still able to, put out some pretty good CC, do some pretty good damage. And, I never felt behind, which I think is just a big part of MOBAs, You're supposed to be able to get ahead of your opponent. What's the point of even having a laning phase if you can't really get ahead of them? Sure, you can get ahead maybe 300, 400, but by the time it's late game, you always have the same items. And if you just kind of sit at your base, it doesn't even matter if you're getting those kills. They can get their max items before you do, and then you just turtle at your base and wait till you have max items, and it's just a max item battle.
Well, to be fair, there's also ways around that. I mean, think of characters that are terrible like Alquang, who benefit greatly from this change, and characters who have been running the metagame like Wukong, who get hurt by this change. It winds up balancing the game. Granted, it needs a little more tuning, but for what they're doing, I think it's going in the right direction. This was a really positive patch. I mean, if not just for the fact that Sprint was nerfed, because, oh my god.
The biggest problem I see with it, though, is your experience not matching now your leveling.
Well, I mean, that's
it's very
just relative
irritating
to what
that-
we know. I mean, we've known for X amount of years that this should always equal this. I mean, they're trying to change it up a little bit, and I would kind of like to see a little bit of a different play, because, I mean, for the last, how many months have we been playing this game now? It's been, by this minute, you should have this amount of gold or you're shit. Like,
Well, but by the last 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes of the game is spent buying the potions.
Yeah, it is.
I have bought a lot of those potions with the 2 in normals, but I haven't seen a single competitive game where people are buying the actual good potions.
We haven't had
And if we're not. I mean, there's been a lot of scrims this week, but I haven't seen anyone buying those crazy potions, like maybe in ranked or in normals where things don't matter even a little tiny bit. But I mean, in actual competitive play, I mean, it's not that serious yet. Maybe it's a little overboard, but.
Yeah, I think the message there is it's a little bit overboard right now. If they tune it down to 3, I think you'll see a lot more interesting things happen. Carries will get a little bit better again.
But it's also been like 4 days, and everyone's still doing the same builds. Like, no one's even giving it a chance. We're just screaming OP, OP, and we're gonna listen to the MOBA gods, and hopefully they'll listen to us. I mean, it's just like World of Warcraft. Like, mages were broken, and they just keep yelling and get more broken over and over. If you complain enough, things will be changed. And for once, I think everyone should just shut up for like a week and let us play the game.
Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest example of that was Thor. He got a teleport buff, and people were starting to get to use him, and then they just decided that he had a low win rate, and they gave him his stun that has now made him ridiculous.
That made him into the god that he is.
Yes, and so of course Sparks posted the patch testing for next week. So have you guys seen this patch or this post from Erez that's on the? It was posted like an hour ago
On the BL Gaming forums.
and on Hi-Res too. Basically, they came out with all the stuff that they're going to put on the patch test server next week, which is going to be bringing it down to 3 gold per second. Passive gold per second is changing from 8 per second to 6 a second in Domination, and changing from 4 to 3 in Conquest. So they changed it in Domination too. But Cupid will be going back to physical power. He'll not be a hybrid anymore. The modified version of the Conquest map will be tested, which they're going to remove the side lanes and take out green and yellow buff.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
That ought to be quite interesting. A few more. Did they take out the side lanes? It doesn't say they took out the side lanes.
Yeah,
I think it did.
it does say in there.
Yes, it says.
Oh, there it is.
the
There it is.
The
It's
Conquest
the-
map will be tested.
Yeah,
It's a current map
Yeah.
with no jungle
and
side
green,
lanes.
green and yellow buff are being removed.
Right. I said that.
I think they're being removed.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I say nerfed?
Because I mean, I think speed is actually the most overpowered. When it comes to like the 5-6 minute mark, speed just becomes far and away like the best one besides Fire Giant. But taking away those side lanes is going to be so big because if you notice in certain game types, like if you're not getting those, you're so far behind. And if you're getting those at the wrong time, or if you're far behind and trying to PvE a little, you're so far away from all the other team fights that if they notice you're over there, your team's dead. Like getting those out of the way are going to push people towards the middle more, which is going to create more fighting, which is awesome.
Well, I mean, look at it.
Outside side lanes are very bowed. They were very bowed, and you were very stuck. You had an extra distance, quite a bit of distance away from everything.
Yeah.
What are you
And
saying,
if you look at
Alecyte?
any other MOBA, they don't have a side lane like that, pretty much. I mean, Dota has that kind of like underbrush in the corner that you can visit, but you can't like take it all the way around.
Well, I really hope they keep the idea of like putting the red buff in the middle. I really like the idea of it, how it's kind of like this buff that you want to contest. It's a pretty powerful buff. And I don't know, I like how it promotes the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Well, red
So it
buff
does
wasn't
snowball the
really
game.
ever about the buff. I mean, the only reason you're ever fighting for red was for the experience. I mean, red before you go back is worth like 2 or 3 damage. It's completely pointless. It's just you want that because you can take cooldown or speed, whichever's on your side at any point. They can't contest you by going that far onto your side. But fighting in that middle area can be contested on either side. So by taking that, you control more of the map. And by taking it out, it's going to push more people towards the middle, and they're going to... There's some other stuff. I don't know if it's listed here, and I don't know if we're supposed to talk about it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, are we supposed to talk about that? at all?
I was going to.
Whatever's on the forums, the high-res forums is one we can talk about.
Yeah, I like how we're all like, we have all this information.
Yeah,
Can
I mean,
talk
we
about
pretty
it?
much. Well,
Gee.
I was going to speak in more of a hypothetical situation, like don't get to the specifics of what they were saying, but like hypothetically speaking,
What if they do this?
if they did this or if
let's
they
think
did
about
that.
where these buffs are going to go. I mean, blue's going to probably stay blue. Yellow's replaced with what? The
I think they're just getting...
with
Are you,
cooldown. They got
are
meter.
you talking about like putting it on the map?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's
Because-
what are they
because
get? Where are
red's
they
got to
gonna
go
put them?
somewhere.
Yeah, because they're only removing yellow and green. And
I mean, theoretically, aren't they removing?
It's going where
like-
defense used to go. I mean, with the new AD.
Then where's cooldown go?
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Back to mid.
Do we throw
Possibly.
it? Is there a minion going to be in the middle lane?
I
just
have a-
stands there and the two fight it off at the beginning of the match.
Well,
Who gets the
like,
buff?
They're
Mana
not
stays the same,
aggressive.
and then they replace green with like speed, and then where the defense is right now, it could just be like one is cooldown and one is whatever the other one is. What's the other one?
There's
Red,
Right.
speed,
Red,
cooldown, blue.
Red.
Yeah.
So they could be like red and cooldown are both in the middle now instead of like it being mirrored to the same one.
they'd have to make maybe an opening on both sides. So it can be a bit more. So it's even.
Yeah, you don't have like one doesn't get the cooldown for sure, and vice versa. I wonder. There was talk of them rotating the map on how it's laid out too, to where you instead of having left, right, and middle, you would have top, bottom, and middle.
And adding in a river or something.
Yeah, I mean possibly
I'm
possibly
like,
splitting the
do you
map
wanna
like
do it
how.
exactly the same as everybody else? Is that really necessary?
I actually have a question about the like him and I were discussing like if you were to split the map, like let's say we were gonna just copy League of Legends or Dota, and you have that. Well, let's go with Dota because you got the down into the river and then out. How would that actually affect Smite with the skill shots? Like, would Ra's beam go across, down the hole, and out, or would it just go straight across? And if you're in the hole, you get missed. Or if Odin throws down his ultimate, is it going to go follow the terrain? And how do you work all that?
My guess is
would
they
have to-
wouldn't do that. They don't have a. The game is actually a flat design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game doesn't have any three-dimensional aspect except for visually, graphically to you. The
you
jumps
can
are nothing
actually
more
test
than
that.
what?
You can actually test that. If you get knocked up onto the Phoenix, you can see how the skill shot icons are indicated, and they'll actually be elevated
Yeah.
to where you are on the Phoenix pedestal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've seen that before too.
So basically, it has its own plane of. It just happens to be on top of the terrain.
Yeah,
So,
so you'd have to rework a little bit if they wanted to do a 3D thing.
I
Yeah.
think they'd have to completely redo their engine if they did a 3D thing.
No, we wouldn't
Yeah.
do
They would also have to add in some kind of fog of war or bushes to block eyesight. Like it would be dumb if you could look straight down the river and see all the way across like you do lanes right now. You shouldn't be able to see into there basically. At
Would it
all
be?
from the
I mean,
lanes.
think about the possibilities for the controlling of that section of the map. Like if you're in left lane and you're like, holy crap, we pushed up our lane. Now I can see down the whole river. This gives my team an advantage because I can tell if they're cutting across. But it also makes it dangerous because it's like I have to get up to the river so that way I can see all the way across it. But, you know, it's putting me in a dangerous position, but I need to check on see who's doing what or to make sure nobody's coming my way.
I guess that's the other question. Will it create more passive play if you can't see down it? Are players going to now be more passive and afraid to go past that halfway point?
Yeah.
You should be
think
afraid to
mid-
go past the halfway point anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Well,
They
Yeah,
said they
all
were
the
adding.
changes mid will take the biggest toll. Like it's gonna change it a little bit.
yeah.
They said they were adding rocks and trees to like the lane to break line of sight. They could do something similar with that in the river.
Yeah.
So the river
They-
isn't just a straight thing down.
I think he
But
called it more like outcroppings.
Yeah, he said
in
outcroppings, like I
lanes.
guess bushes or something that you could. Did he say hide in?
Hide
You
behind.
can
Hide behind. Okay.
Line
No
of
lead
sight.
bushes.
There's always bushes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bushes, tall grass,
It's
reeds.
shrubbery. Bring me a shrubbery.
Shrubbery.
Yes. Anybody who doesn't catch that needs to go somewhere else.
Alecyte's
And also,
like,
for
"I'm
one
too
thing,
young."
really quick,
Huh?
because there were some comments about that in that post where it's like, below is the example of how focus would work with items and gods. The stats, numbers, and items are only an example because the first post, like, somewhere was, why are they changing my honor? And it's like, they're not. This is just speculation. Read the whole thing. So for anybody that is just skimming through it, this is not what they're actually changing. It's an example.
Yeah, on here was just I think on here was just a convenient god that they had a lot of utility skills they could show off for the how it would or sorry, focus skills that they could show it off.
They need to hurry up and find some standard
Terminology.
Yes, terminology. Thank you. Because this focus, utility points, all this stuff is getting really confusing really fast.
It's just because it's new, and you're scared of new things.
I am. So, what do you guys think of this focus points as Era's put it in the post? Like, what do you think about that in general?
Yeah, the change
Um,
from magic AP to focus and
Utility, the triad, or whatever the heck he calls it.
yeah.
I think
That
it's
was
an
actually-
interesting way to
That wasn't
nerf.
what they did. They said they're keeping physical and magical, and
Yeah,
they're
they're-
adding
Way
focus.
to
and that's
like
utility.
ramrod PonPon right all the way, Brandon.
This is the
Jeez.
third iteration.
So what were you saying, PonPon?
I was saying it's kind of an interesting way to, like, for example, Wukong Ultimate is really strong right now. It's an interesting way to nerf it and give you the option to make it as strong at the cost of damage. I think if they balance the system properly, it'll give them more flexibility in how they want to balance gods, but at the same time, I don't know how exactly they're going to be able to balance the gods. They are showing improvement in balancing the gods, but they still have some problems.
Right.
Yeah, what were you saying? All right, what were you saying, Brandon?
I was saying, well, they were talking about they were changing it, and they weren't changing it. They're just putting in utility power, which is now focus.
So
Because
they were,
originally they were what he was talking. They were planning to change physical and magical to something else, but they're not.
so they're going back on that.
Yeah,
That
they're
would
just-
be
just keeping it
that
the
would
same.
be
Yeah,
that would be
keeping
what
your gods the same, keeping that stuff. They just change all the utility skills and have an extra item stat.
Yeah, and so I mean this means that they're gonna have to drastically change a lot of items, or
Oh yeah.
remove and add
All the
items.
items. Well, they also said along with that the items are also being changed to the point to where like the items that can do so many things are kind of being now split up into having more focus items. Focus items that are
Specific.
geared towards a stat.
Yeah, specific stat items.
So it'll basically make bruisers more powerful because they'll have the damage, they'll have some of the utility, and they'll have a lot more survivability. But they can just
Well,
as
depending on
easily
how they
build
choose.
damage.
Right. Like,
Yeah,
so if
the-
they say that Monkey's ult is only like 0.5 seconds now, and that for every point of utility it goes up, blank
Right.
or focus now. So I mean that could really, really balance Monkey out.
Sure.
Like
Depending on how you build.
Wukong, oh, no, sorry, not Wukong. Emir's wall link time will be dependent upon your utility points. His maybe this how long his slow is from his other attack is based on utility points.
Right. And so that would. Good lord. I mean,
it changes it so much, doesn't it?
it changes it a whole lot and not a whole lot all at the same time because that's going to make it really interesting to balance in general. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
adding a whole nother layer of numbers that they have to take into account.
Well, that and it would fix, like, say the problem they did with Thor, where they gave him a stun. Another stun. Sorry.
Another stun.
So if that stun, how long it did was entirely dependent on utility instead of it just leveled up as he went, then it might be a lot more balanced. You might get just a little tiny stun out of it initially if you just built pure damage, where now you can just rake people's face because they're standing there for a while.
Right. You know.
Yeah, I think the idea that he wanted to go with is basically all the gods will have their role. Here's your tank god, here's your damage god, here's your support god, and now with the new utility system, you have to sacrifice and choose between going more heavy damage or going more of controlling, depending on what your god's capable of.
Right.
One of these sub roles, the sub classifications are what the new utility points are kind of forcing in the new item designs.
Right. Isn't that what the community was asking for? Was more role specific gods? Like, is this kind of what you wanted with the? I want to be able to play a support, or I want to be able to play a carrier. I want to be able to play just a magical carry. You know, I thought people were kind of complaining about that, and I was kind of hoping they were gonna toss around the idea of bringing a jungler back. Maybe. I mean, do you guys think that like a jungler or these specific carry things should be implemented?
Well, I mean, like the role-specific gods have been around for a while in games like League and Dota, and they're like that because of the nature of the games, because of the isometric overhead, because of the fact that you can target skills. I mean, in this game, you can literally never take damage if you're good and your opponent is bad. You can dodge auto attacks, you can dodge moves, you can dodge giant AoE abilities with jumps and dashes. So when you put that on a support, let's say a support character, you're really trying to define a playstyle rather than a god. So take Freya, for instance. Freya is supposed to be this, and Freya and Agni are supposed to be damage. You know, they were built in the game to be damage casters, you know? And then you put them in the hands, like you put Freya in Barbaric's hands, or you put Agni in an allied's hands, and suddenly they're supports. And not only are they like supports, but they're great supports because of the way you choose to play them. And I think that's why this game is so great, is because like you can send Baka mid and it'll work. It doesn't have to be a mage, and you can put Freya in the support role and it's going to be great because she has so much utility. It's just now with this utility stat that's coming out, I think it's going to make it even more ambiguous to how you want to play your characters, and it's going to make, I think, a lot of players happy in the long run if they decide to give it a chance instead of just going on the forums and yelling OP and trying to get things changed back to the way they were, because
that's what they're used to.
You know, the way it was before, they were doing well in normals, like that fucking matters, and they don't want to push the game into a new direction. They just want to stomp on a few kids for 10 minutes before they go to school or have their mom do their laundry or you know, things like that.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're going. A lot of the gods people felt like could do just everything. Like, oh, let's build it tanky and damage, and I have complete control of the enemy as well. So I guess this is their way of making you have to choose a role. You got to sacrifice something.
Yeah. Now
a little bit more on, especially on some of these newer gods that have been coming out.
So, PonPon, you look like you've been wanting to say something.
Yeah, I think it's mainly the reason why I like this focus system is I came from League, and you had the runes, and you could customize your god. I'm sure there was max damage that you could go on runes, but it allowed for some customization, and I feel like that was lacking in SMITE, because you had pretty much the standard build you went, and you could play differently, but you weren't necessarily different from any other, like Agni. You just played it differently. I think now that you have focus, there's no need for like a rune system that they were tossing around. You now have complete customization of what you want to do. You could go that full-on Agni
Who's typing?
support.
Peg.
Kennedy.
Stop it.
Kennedy.
Sorry, continue, PonPon.
I think it's a nice add to the game. Just more customization overall is great.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a way of giving us our runes and masteries without actually doing it, because lots of us do not want that. Specifically.
Yeah, it's much better because now you have customability, but it's in-game. You still start off at the same point as your opponent. You know, you're both on the even ground, but you have the customization to go wherever you want with it.
Yep. I agree. Crap. What did I want to ask about next?
Roaming.
I want to ask about jungling. So, like, do you guys think that they should bring back, like, a jungler-specific role?
No.
Yes.
Why?
No.
Honestly,
No?
I love the way the game is right now, where it's 2v2, 2v2, 1v1. Like, I think that's great. I mean, putting people in the jungle, it's just going to make it more like League, where just some person's going to get caught out of position. I think catching someone in mid lane, like 2 steps too far to the point where you could jump over a wall and kill him, that's not skill. It's 50%
Timing.
luck to their positioning. Like, being able to bait out 2 people that are in front of you, kite them around creeps, and then kill them, that is skill. And I mean, the jungler option's cool. Like, it's cool that there are so many roles in League. Like, every single person on the team has a different role, as opposed to in Smite, where 3 people are essentially doing the same thing. But it's not that game. I mean, we have to stop looking at this like a MOBA from all aspects and start looking at it like, hey, this is kind of an action game.
Well, I mean, but it wouldn't say in most PvP, in most sports in general, it's about positioning and taking an opportunity.
Yeah.
And if maybe not so much calling it a jungling role where they're expected to focus from the very beginning, going from jungle to jungle. But I like the idea of a more roaming role where you might start off in the lane, but you are going to be the one who
Have you never seen
travel
play?
between the lanes a lot more, which I know the roaming role, as I said, has been in there since the beginning.
No, but really, have you never seen bipolar method play? Like, that's their #1 strategy. Is they take Spoo or Hurok, and they're just running around the lane killing people, running around the map killing people.
It's not a strategy that people think. Everyone wants. As I'm saying, everyone wants to focus on the idea of a jungle, but
that
so many
man
people
does that
forget
every single ranked game.
Forget the
If
idea
you watch
of
the high-res
roaming.
stream
Hold
at 5
on.
o'clock every day.
Hold on.
Every single day.
All right. Hold on, Brandon. Let him finish his thought.
And then we'll attack him and beat him down. Yeah, we'll go
No,
back.
but his point isn't correct.
We can let him finish it, and then we'll correct him. How's that?
How's
There.
my point incorrect?
Yeah.
Because there are already roaming roles.
Right.
I
It's
know.
just he's saying that it's
you
not.
proved my point.
I think he's saying in low elo, everyone expects there to be a jungler.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying that the mass community that freak out on the forums and stuff we've said since the beginning of the game to not view this as a jungling game but as a roaming role.
Yeah.
And it's been shouted for so long, but people ignore it.
So, do you think that, say, if they get rid of the side lanes and then they move more buffs, I guess they're not adding any more buffs to the middle, would it be maybe a decent idea if they added, not a buff, but just a jungle camp that if you're going to roam out of your lane, you at least have the opportunity to take a jungle creep to not fall too far behind? Or would that just be obnoxious and not useful?
Yeah, non-buff camps are cool.
Go ahead, Coop.
It would be useful, obviously, because
Right.
it's free experience. But I feel like if you're gonna take upon yourself to leave lane and go roam, then your job is to go make another lane get a kill, and you shouldn't be rewarded twice for that. You shouldn't still stay on the same level for leaving your lane, and then go get another lane a kill.
Right,
And
it should be a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think if there's ever going to be a place in the game for a roamer where it's going to develop into the meta, it's going to be now, because if they're adding this focus, it's going to say, okay, let's say I'm in Agony, just for example. Instead of damage, I'm going to go roam, and my stun's going to be 0.5 seconds higher. So now mid's going to get that extra 0.5 seconds to land his skill shots and an extra opportunity to get a kill. So that'll be my main role, to roam. So I think focus is going to directly correlate to that if there's ever going to be a roamer. But
If focus even comes into existence.
Right, this is all still
Right.
speculation. But if they did this kind of thing, are we going to get new terms for new gods? Like, this is going to be our stun god, this is going to be our CC, or our slow
Ymir.
god. You're going to be building him. Well, I'm building stun, I'm building damage, I'm building slow, I'm building heal.
Well, I think you already have that role. I mean, if you have a Ymir on the team, I would expect Ymir to go tanky, and I would assume that with focus, it transition to tanky support, as in you're getting longer stuns and slows. I
Okay.
think the standard terms will still apply. It's just it's more specialized.
I think it's going to create for more, I guess, creative team comps, though, because you're going to start thinking about each individual ability in the game and how it can be improved with utility now, instead of just picking, Guan Yu's the best tank in the game, or whatever it may be.
Stermes, what do you think about all that?
About the roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with the adding of the, what are they called, focus,
Yeah.
it could change up how some of the gods are played. Like maybe with, let's just say, Ares, you're building more for that slow on his one rather than building for the tankiness and damage. Maybe something like that. or so. It'd be interesting how it plays out when it's actually implemented.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really hard to say how it's going to change the roles now rather than later on when it's actually in.
Yeah, that is fair.
In my opinion.
And the good part about that is there will be a public beta server, test server. You have to be level 30 to get in it. And it will be up for a certain amount of time, and then you will go on and play, and then you will get off, and you will probably have to fill out some sort of form saying, what did you think? And it'll all be good. I mean, this is what we asked for. We said, give us a test server, and they're listening.
So is anybody else noticing the irony of us having a beta test server in a beta?
Yeah, I think someone posted the Yo-Dog picture.
What picture?
Yeah,
I feel this must be LinkedIn stream.
Yeah, I'll link it.
Was it?
Great.
Just scroll down a little bit.
It's betaception.
It's on the first page of the thread.
There we go.
So I heard you like betas.
I heard you like betas, so we added a beta to the beta so you can beta test the next patch for the beta.
Yes.
Very nice.
I don't
You know,
even
a lot of
need
people have
that.
been asking something like, let the top players play, like allowing only level 30s to be able to go into this beta test for the beta is an awesome idea.
Well, for now, since there aren't that,
Right.
I guess, there aren't that many level 30s.
There's probably a couple thousand people who are
Yeah,
30.
there's a
Yeah.
bunch of them. There's a bunch
And
of them.
I think that's a decent amount of people, especially considering most of those people are online all the time. So having us being able to test the game before it goes live is probably a really good idea. Because I mean,
Especially with
if we had a beta
crazy
test for
changes.
this beta beforehand, would Thor have made live? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
then again, if they showed us the patch notes before they released that, would Thor have made live? Like,
I wish they had
Pockets.
told us more, like the gold change. I logged in
Yeah.
and I saw that I was gaining 4 gold per second. I'm like, where was this in the patch?
yeah. We just
I didn't even notice until I was like 15 minutes into one game.
Yeah, they're like, we did this major gameplay change. We're not going to tell you about it.
Oh, and also for a lot of the people that have been arguing, specifically in some chats that I sit in, the movement speed is not 10% increase. It was a base 35 move speed increase. So it did not make the faster gods faster and the slower gods slower.
Well,
it made everybody equally faster.
So does that mean this 5% decrease is just going to be like 16?
I guess 5% decrease.
That was in the notes.
This is
Yeah,
5%.
they're making it 5% now.
5% speed increase then.
Reducing it by 5% and what
Decrease.
it's at right now.
They're reverting the change,
God.
so instead of 10%, it's 5%.
So is it
So it'll
So
be
it's
like 30.
5% from the previous base percent, or is it 5% from the total percent plus the 10% minus 5% of the total percent?
Instead of 10% from the last patch, it's
I-
5%.
Yeah.
I want a flowchart, thank you.
Demand flowchart.
Whenever, and if percent's wrong and it wasn't 10%, it was just 35.
Yes.
Then they're
Then they
Like
throw
16.
in the percent. We're gonna dumb it down by 5% from 35 now. Wait a minute. So that's 3?
16.5. There you go.
Oh God. Flowcharts required. This is what they need to do. They need, aside from all the stuff that they're doing correct, which is the public test server, letting us know all this stuff, giving us feedback emails and stuff like that, they need to start a giant flowchart on the site that's like all the thoughts we're thinking about. And then they're just going to like hash off the things that they get rid of. And it's like, nope, not there anymore. And then they're going to flow it in. And this is all the
God.
stuff. It's going to be great.
Bad things would happen.
or change Cupid to magic power, but make his one still scale off physical on the detonate.
Right.
I saw that happen and I got legitimately angry. I was on a domination map and I was just like, really?
So, since you mentioned Domination, have you guys played it and have you
yeah, what
enjoyed
are your
it?
thoughts?
It's actually
Hate
pretty
it.
Hate
I
it.
don't.
Eh.
It's not what I want.
right,
I'd rather
all right.
have it capture and hold.
Cool. So we have Stermes on the like it. We'll have Coop on the hate it. All right,
I
go
like it.
Stermes.
Go Stermes.
I don't know. It's funny because I'm just running around and jumping around with a monkey. All I play the
Exactly
monkey.
why I
hit.
hate it.
Dude, I went 24, 2, and 9 in what's it called, Domination, just because I was running around killing people and killing towers with monkey. It's so much fun.
That's awesome. All right,
Nice.
Cooper.
Why don't you
Wait,
like it?
When Arena came out, it was kind of, I mean, there's still kind of stronger gods than you have in Conquest and Arena that can push those waves and get tickets for you faster. And when Conquest, or when Domination was announced, I thought, okay, it'd be cool, but there's just no balance around it, in my opinion. There's too many gods that just do too much and you put Vamana soloing a right lane and he just holds that golem thing in the middle forever. And then you can just put an Ao Kuang in mid and he just holds that forever. I mean, unless you have extreme coordination with your team to go get those pillars or golems, whatever they're called, in the middle, it's just you're gonna lose if you have them on an Ao Kuang. It's like there's no balance.
That's considered, like, you have to consider the fact that if this was a tournament situation, there would be bans. And you have to consider that if you're saying there isn't coordination, you're talking about normal games. And again, if it's not coordinated, it shouldn't matter for balance.
And let's not try to balance it right now.
Please don't.
No,
don't.
I'm not saying balance it or any of that. I'm saying that's just why I don't like it.
Well, I mean, they can't balance it now because there's no competitive basis for it.
Exactly, and that's just why I don't like it.
Also,
I don't care for it at all.
Now here's a big question: do they take the non-conquest games in consideration for balances? Like when they say total god kills, Cupid's on top with 500 billion kills, and Monkey's next in line. Is that also counting? Arena, the domination.
I heard the stats are just different and they're just going whatever.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I hope they're just like, eh.
Yeah. Ignore all the stats that are not conquest.
I hope it's just the general play. Enjoy what you want here.
Pretty much.
No, what it is like someone printed this off and gave it to me. It must be right.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Absolutely how they do
But
it.
yeah, I know. I think Domination will have to wait because a lot of people still don't understand that killing people doesn't really do a lot. Unlike in at least Arena, where killing people gets you tickets and it's reasonably straightforward what happens. Domination, not so much. I've run into a lot of games where people just have no idea what they're doing, and the games.
Well, I mean, that's just like any other game that has multiple game modes, like Halo or Call of Duty, when you're playing CTF or you're playing Domination and you're in a normal game or a pub game, and they're just like running around the map trying to get kills. Like, no one focuses on the objective.
Yeah.
And then you watch top level Halo where they're like moving forward, like kill wave by kill wave until they can get that flag and bring it back. It's just a matter of, again, normal versus competitive. When you talk about normal games, it's mainly just going to be idiots running around doing whatever they want anyway. Yeah. Which is why everyone picks Loki and is trying to steal blue buff when they have meditation because they need it.
Hey, that blue buff meditation is Loki, man.
It is.
It's OP.
It is.
Two times today, by the way.
So some other topics I wanted to kind of touch on were the tournaments this past weekend. What did you guys think of the results?
How about you?
And the people who participated in it, how did you enjoy it? Was it fun? Stuff like that.
Still waiting for my.
So go PonPon. We'll let you go first, then we'll go Stermes, then we'll go Brandon.
Best of one was far more stressful than I anticipated. I was on edge the entire time during the My Revenge tournament, and I think when facing BLG EU twice, losing twice to BLG EU, it shows that our team has a lot to work on. We got to get some scrims in and work on fire giant control. So really, those tournaments were learning experiences for our team, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing those tournaments.
Nice. Stermes, what did you think being a sub at the time?
I was a sub and then joined afterwards. Honestly, it was a lot of fun. I love doing the tournaments because it's a full day of good teams going at it, and there's nothing I'd rather do but that.
Right.
I love having those close matches. Although I'm still waiting for my gems for winning that, but hey.
I don't know. That's like subs get no gems.
Yeah, it's true. Subs get no gems.
So gets no gems.
So, Brandon, did you get to watch it? You weren't playing in it at all.
I don't care at all.
Oh, you don't care at all? Okay.
I think PonPon beat us. Or he didn't beat me. PonPon has never beaten me in anything.
Oh.
But I think he beat Juice.
Joust me, bro.
Shit. You beat us, right? Is that this weekend? Cool.
That
Good for you.
was in the My Revenge tournament, yeah.
Good stuff, dude. I actually did watch that game. I thought it was really funny.
Was it really funny because Jeremy was getting so mad, or was it really funny just because they were losing too, or because
whatever you want?
We have all these reasons.
My chat was going a little bit crazy during that game.
It was. I was watching
interesting.
your stream, and I was not ghosting for them.
or else they would have won.
I don't assume people ghost. I assume people are better than that.
Yeah. It's just
people don't. And a lot of people aren't.
This is true, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, I mean, there's
but
only
seriously, PonPon, if that was for money, I would have ghosted the hell out of you.
Well, I had a delay on anyway for 3 minutes.
Oh, you didn't?
So.
You did not.
Yeah, I did. And
I remember specifically that you didn't because like I was watching Shing and he was like calling stuff out as he was doing it, and I would ask them like what time was their timer at, and their timer was the same as yours.
Apparently,
But, like I had my chat behind. I was talking to my chat like 3 minutes in the past. There was definitely a 3-minute delay. Maybe you just got like past the delay, but I definitely had it on, and people were experienced.
Brandon gets past delays.
Yeah, Brandon is
Apparently, I'm a cool guy.
your future seer.
But I didn't get to watch it, but I want to point out something huge. And a lot of the top players are using these tournaments as like super scrims. It's like we scrim to practice stuff, to learn stuff. A lot of people are casting our scrims, which we find so annoying because they're just practice games and people are hyping it up and we're getting serious over things and we're just trying strats out. So when we go into tournaments, this is like the culmination, right? This is like super scrim times, like super serious scrimmages all day. But a lot of players are taking these tournaments a little too seriously, and we have to stop that. Not because you're beating us or we're beating you. Like, I don't care about that. It's because the more we feed into these random tournaments that have no prizes, the longer the community is going to allow it. And as players, we're making a lot of corporations money by playing and letting them stream us. So we have to be a little more selective and a little more withdrawn. And shout outs to Recent Gaming for being busy all the time because they're doing a good job with that. And not that going, no, we have to practice for the tournament with no prizes.
I mean, on the flip side of that, you also have if you're constantly doing these tournaments, you're building up a people who want to watch them. If you have more entertaining casters and more experience,
you can do that.
You can get
scrims and just what normal setup games. Like if I was high res right now, I would be setting up like we'll give you guys each 400 gems Friday night if you show up to this match and play a 2 out of 3. Just you two teams. That's it. I mean, and that would be a really hype match one night. Put it on fucking YouTube, make some money off of it, like, and then everybody's happy. Instead
So
of running these
hypothetically,
tournaments that people are,
saying
building like corporations off of that are pretty much abusing us because we're trying to play a game that's in beta.
Granted, Brandon, there's the amount of viewership that we have doesn't make anybody any money. Like 600 viewers for a tournament is
like nothing.
crap. I mean, you might make
like
5
a lot
cents.
of it's passion right now.
Yeah.
For the game.
And
But a lot of people, like, and you guys aside, like, I don't mean you guys in any way. I love BLG, but like a lot of other tournaments are just doing this, and telling us that you can't stream or you have to be here at this time or you're disqualified for like these weekly or single elimination things, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe High-Res should do a
needs a
weekly.
little more control over itself. I mean, because it's an online game, a lot of people are just resigned to sit in their house and play it and do whatever people want anyway, because a lot of people would never have gone to tournaments. I mean, maybe this is new to them, so they don't know any better, and I don't know, it's kind of abuse.
Well, I'm just going to go put in my, on the casting side of it, how you say people want to cast your scrims and you find it annoying. I understand where you're coming from. It's not necessarily people trying to hype it up. It's just there's not much to cast out there. So most people, during the night are just looking for something fun to cast that's not random people playing against each other. So it's not like they're trying to exactly make money or hype it all the time. It's just they want something to do.
They want to get viewers.
Yeah,
they want to get some attention. So go ahead, PonPon.
Yeah, rank can get really trolly at some points, and I've seen casts of games where it's just been like a 21-1 score in the top elo ranked game, but scrims are generally a lot closer. So I don't think anyone's making money off of it right now, and I don't think there's enough viewers for money to be had.
No,
it's really more just to get the game out.
Yeah, I mean it's much more for getting the game out, but
and for positioning yourself for later.
Yeah, I mean you got to get practice in for casting, and you want to try and do it with people. You like to do it for stream because it gives you instant feedback on how badly you suck, and just how I should never cast again or stuff like that. All the feedback that I get, and generally speaking, I mean, what do you think, Kennedy? Since you cast and Cooper, I don't think you've casted anything yet, have you?
I'm gonna try and move into it, but when he's done, I got a comment too.
The only thing I do have the dislike for having tournaments happen so often. I feel like it saturates things, especially having all these tournaments out there that aren't people like got some teams joining some of them, but they can't make it to the other one, and it's just like it's just saturating the scene, and we're still early game, and like he was saying, talking about the seriousness, people taking the thing too serious. In some cases, for some people, that causes a problem when suddenly something gets switched like this, a change to the game. Now these people who are taking this serious are going to be freaking out. It's not a serious scene yet. There's no reason to be serious yet other than teams practicing, getting ready, and maybe the occasional tournament should be out there. But this idea of a weekly tournament right now, trying to rush them through, push them through, does not make sense. A seasonal play would make more sense. Just having scheduled matches maybe every once in a while that they're just keeping some kind of record with that way.
I got one.
Corporations are trying to do different tournaments, and that's whatever. The problem is that there's no prizes. I mean, like I played a lot of Smash Brothers, and when Brawl first came out in New Jersey, New York area, there was 3 tournaments a weekend every single weekend. But with that, there were prize money for each individual tournament. So even if you couldn't go, like it wasn't that big of a deal because someone was still making money. There was still some type of notoriety to the actual win. Because right now, I mean, Juice has, I think, 4 tournament wins, and 2 of them had cash prizes, or like, you know, I don't know, cash, but we had like gems and codes and money. And then the other tournaments were just like, hey, we won this.
Yay.
There goes our Sunday.
Yeah, but you got a lot of fun practice time in.
Right. I mean, and that's good. The practice is good, but I mean, a lot of websites are trying to brand it out like they're like these big important tournaments, and it sucks because like at the end of it, there's no prize money, and now you are expected to win this, and then if you don't win it, you suck, and if you do win it, you're shitty for bragging about your win.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, it's not even that hard to get gems from high res. I mean, they give them out like candy. So I don't even understand why some of these terms, like ESL has their weekly thing. You think they'd be able to get gems or something for it?
Maybe they haven't asked.
So,
Since they're ESL.
we want to let Cooper get some words in edgewise. Go for it, Cooper.
Oh, I was just gonna, I think what Brandon said was spot on, like perfect as far as the selection, have to be more selective. Because maybe when the game started, or maybe about 2 months ago when there was a couple tournaments open, it could have been okay to keep playing in them every weekend or every week, whatever. But now that more are starting to come up from just random people, whether they're free or not, if they don't have a significant prize pool, then I think teams need to kind of steer away from those and go towards the ones that do. Because, I mean, yeah, it's practice, but the competitive teams, the really competitive teams and the top elo players are close enough with each other in this game that they can just set that up by themselves whenever they want.
Yeah.
They can just say, okay, guys, let's go play 6 matches tonight, and we'll just call it our own mini tournament for free. We don't need anyone to do that for us. We don't have to go through sign-ups.
I actually think BM was trying to set that up the other night. Just like a mini 4-team tournament to be like
Pick-up tournament.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, so, I mean, if they really want to and go through it, they don't need a website to organize. They don't need to sign up on anything. We're close enough together to do that ourselves. So now that so many are coming up, if you don't have substantial prize pool, you're kind of going down now. And the competitive teams, I mean, I don't know because I'm not on a competitive team, but speaking for them out of my own opinion, I think they need to be more selective, like Brandon said.
A lot of the forum monsters are always just like, DM, you should be happy that they're running tournaments at all. Like, no, I should not be happy that people are abusing my, you know, minimal notoriety for their website to be pumped up a little bit. Like, that's shitty that I'm not getting money for helping you out.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
I would like all the teams out there, like if it's a free tournament and you haven't played in a while, have fun, but don't take it seriously. If you're going to take a tournament serious, make sure there's a prize.
And someone in chat's saying about making this about, shouldn't it just be about bragging rights like it used to be?
No.
And I know the scene right now is fresh and new still. It's young, and people are actually trying to make it an actual professional scene. It's we're trying to move away from this idea of just a game for fun for bragging rights and more into a actual business, an actual living that people are trying to make. So trying to go into the attitude of, oh, we're just here to have fun and just have some bragging rights, kind of hurts that bottom line of people who are trying to actually make something of this, make it something, an industry that exists.
You know, a lot of people don't realize, because a lot of people aren't good, that when you are first started, it's kind of like, you ever play Pokemon? DeamonMachine or RevilZero? You play Pokemon, right?
Oh yeah, I played Pokemon a while.
Kid from your town, and you have one Pokemon, and you're just a piece of shit, right? So then you go out, and you're like, I'm just gonna be cool. I'm gonna get one badge. No one realizes that's probably like 6 months to a year before like you're even in that shitty town with the rock badge. Brock, like, get out of here. And after that, you just wasted a year of your life for pretty much no reason. At that point, it's not about bragging rights anymore. It's like, yo, I need to like start making money. Like, I've wasted a lot of time on this piece of shit game.
Playing Pokemon competitively. Oh, yes.
That's not what I was talking about. No, but it's like, you start out Like, you
Time
want to be
spent.
famous, and you want to be cool, and you want people to know you, and you want to be known as the best. And
Yep.
then it's kind of like, okay, people know me now. I just want your money.
Yeah.
You gotta take it realistic. Like, you all are spending tons of times into practicing and stuff. Like,
Yep.
you are trying to make it your actual living, your actual business and stuff. It's not just like a, hey, we jumped on tonight and happened to play against in this tournament.
Yeah, it's not like it's not just the friends team where it's I like you, you hang out with me and stuff like that. Let's go and play some games tonight. You know, it's more than that, because I mean, you're trying to find the best of the best to be the top of the top, and you hope to be in some way compensated for it. Besides just getting your lovely bragging rights. So we would like to actually
Hookers and
open.
below.
Isn't it hookers, lawn darts, and body shots? Is that what it is?
Yes.
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 Anyway, so we would like to get to some calls to let people chime in on all the stuff we have talked about tonight, because we're running very long. And
Hello.
Coop, did you want to talk about WOGL before we open up? So people who would like to call in, start messaging me, and I'll put you in queue.
Coop.
Yeah, I guess.
Clarify what's going on, because there's a lot of confusion running around everywhere.
Yeah, all right. So, first off, well, I'll touch on playoffs. Playoffs are now being pushed forward to Monday. They're starting Monday. All the brackets are already made. I don't have the exact link, but if someone can find that and post it in chat. The brackets are made, and it's going to be a double elimination, best-of-3 playoffs. The reason it was pushed forward is because out of the original 30 teams that we had, right around week 5, I think only 11 ended up playing their match, which is pathetic. So we decided to push that forward. There wasn't enough teams backing us, and there wasn't enough really any support at all in anywhere wanting to do that. So we took the teams that wanted to be active and compete for the prize pool that we had and moved them into playoffs if you were a top 2 team in your division by week 5, and we'll go from there. So
Cool. All right. Awesome.
that all starts on Monday.
You are making me very hungry, sir.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that clarifies that. Alecyte, did you want to say something before we were taking
I was just
calls?
gonna ask DMBrandon what he was gonna say in response to people just wanting to cast scrims for basically for fun and for practice, basically to get better at casting.
If you're casting for fun, just get a life.
well, you know what I mean.
No, I don't
Practicing.
know what you mean. That's really
Well,
I have
if you're
no
practicing,
idea what
you
you
got to
could
get better.
possibly
I
mean.
mean, casting
You can
random
just find
games
a match
isn't
on
gonna get
YouTube and
better.
cast it yourself. That's practice. I mean, you don't when you're practicing to be good at like Marvel vs. Capcom, you play against a computer like for a little while at least. Go into the lab and get your combos down.
Well,
like,
the
maybe
other
just go watch some YouTube games. Do that. Like
Yeah, but
if
you
you're
could be the
like,
best.
But if you're
You could be the
casting
best
like
caster, and
No,
if you
like
don't
a-
have any followers or practice,
well, then you can go
do
into
need the
games without
followers and
streaming it. You don't need to stream every single time that you cast. I mean, there are so many casters right now that are just streaming every random game, and they're like total shit at it because they're not good. They have no practice. Don't be streaming yet. You don't need to be broadcasting my strategies live to make yourself look stupid. Like it's just a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
You're saying self-record a match
Exactly.
offline and rewatch your match to see how
I mean, you
do.
don't see us. We don't stream every scrim that we do. Like we just do it when it's like high profile, or like sometimes we'll fight against Procore. And like we're gonna stream this and just go try hard because like this is maybe we're not playing in a tournament this week. We just want to be tryhards. Oh damn it. But most of the time it's just like if you think just sitting in your room like just casting is really fun, like that's just weird. Like you're a weird person.
Hey,
Kinda
hey,
creepy.
this coming from you.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. It's even
Yeah.
worse.
It must be true.
Yeah, that's terrible. So, are we ready for our callers now? Then, yeah.
Any
Okay.
other comments before we move on to people who are going to?
I just don't
rapidly
want any
change?
Juice members to call on and just yell things.
Okay,
Well,
got it.
okay.
I will mention whoever it is that calls their name to make sure that they do not. Yeah. So we will get let me make sure I have my inputs correctly first. Yay, I do. And there we are. We have with us Baz. Baz, go with
What's
your
up?
questions
Hey,
and
Baz.
points. How are you doing?
As a caster myself, I kind of have some, I guess, tips for the other guys that just are saying that you have to cast higher level stuff for you to be recognized. That's not necessarily true. I mean, practice is practice, like dmbrandon said. So, I mean, first of all, ask before you cast anybody's scrims. Don't just cast them without, asking them. Because honestly, I think that's kind of rude in the first place. And again, to another point that Brandon said that, he doesn't want his strategies to be broadcast all over the world, which is understandable because they're a professional team. I will agree that weekly tournaments do not work. I have tried them before, and they last for about 3 weeks, and then you get like no show-ups at all. I think the series idea is probably the best, and yeah, the new patch is interesting. Thor's OP.
Oh yeah, we never did get on how OP Thor was. I think we just does that even bearing. Do we even need that topic?
I don't think we even need to discuss Thor on how OP is. Everybody knows.
I would like to talk to someone who thinks Thor isn't OP.
Yes, if you think Thor is not OP, please do call us up.
And you can give us an actual reason.
And you have to have reasons. You can't just be an asshole about it.
Right, right. This is true.
No trolls welcome.
Pon, you look like you almost want to agree. Are you sure? Is Thor OP?
Thor's OP.
Okay.
I ban him every game. I'm so sorry that I have to do that. Because I ban Thor, someone bans Kali, and then Bacchus is in the game. That just feels terrible as well.
All right, well, thank you very much for your call, Baz. Move on to our next ones. Oh, let's see. We have Red after I call him. Because thank you for everybody who is messaging me instead of just trying to call me because it keeps things in order and lets
Did you say Red?
Red. Yes, Red.
Like the guy from Pokemon?
Right, like the guy from
Really,
Pokemon.
Dude, Pokemon is reaching out.
It's just a little badge, dude. Chill out. I'm gonna leave the call.
Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. All right, Red, are you there, sir?
Yes, hello.
All right, go ahead.
It's not Red from Pokemon, it's Red Armor from Ghost of Goblins.
Ah.
All right. Yeah, those flying assholes. Anyway, my question is regarding the new possible map we're going to have, or rather the map changes, because my question would be, would you prefer it to be like an entirely new map, or would you prefer they took the current Conquest map and then changed it to the new layout they're planning to do?
So, let us choose a map?
I think they're going to have to redesign it. I mean, if they're planning river, if they're planning line of sight barriers, if they're planning to remove the side and bring 4 buffs into the middle, it has to be reworked to a fair amount.
Yeah.
I feel like it won't resemble the current Conquest
At all.
It'll be a new map entirely.
If they include a river, they're going to have to, unless they just do a straight diagonal, well, not straight, but diagonal line right down the middle, they'll have to move Fire Giant and Harpy to be in even spots along the river for that to happen.
They said they said they would move them into the river.
I would really like to see a completely reworking of the map to the point where you're not always on bottom. Even though I like the always on bottom thing, I don't quite like the fact that one team always has an advantage on being on, either side.
What?
Like Gold Fury and Fire Giant always switch places.
What it means is
so
that
like you're a right laner. Either you would have to switch lanes every game to be near Gold Fury to
I see what you're
otherwise, I think it would be better if everything was static. I don't like the fact that it changes.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're doing if they include the river.
Yeah. I think they might do that
more like League, where the dragon essentially is going to be bottom.
Yeah.
Bottom.
Yes,
whatever.
I would like.
That's why I think they're talking about the top, bottom, and middle versus. So if you turn it sideways, it doesn't make a difference from which side you're on. It's still top, bottom,
right.
Stuff like that. So that should hopefully solve a lot of issues there. And then we'll reminisce about the times when it was left, right, and middle. And it'll be all sorts of fun. So, Red, did you have any other questions, sir?
Thor is not a P because I hate dmbrandon.
Finally a reasonable one.
Thank you, sir, Red. Thanks for your call.
No, but he's a P.
Oh,
okay, good. Just trying to make sure.
All right, see ya. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, who is next? Crap. I'm getting all. Oh, there we are. We have Young Bay next. As soon as I call him up.
Oh, what a picture.
Oh, what a picture. Oh, what a picture. Young Bay.
None of you are going to see.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We are doing just fine. What is your question, sir? Or comment? Or gripe?
Comment? Yeah. I just wanted to say, Young Bay City.
Okay.
That's all, I think.
Got it.
I think everyone saw that coming.
I'm
Yep.
sure we did.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for your
Are
call.
we all supposed
That
to
was
laugh?
actually a little more predictable than his usual playstyle of sit in lane and hope no one ganks me. To be fair, no one ever ganks him. We just let him farm
Brilliant.
and then he beats us all. It's really annoying.
I just saw the chat exploding with Young Bay City before it happened.
Awesome. So, looks like we're going to get on to our next caller here. Well, our next question comes from Sparks from Procore. He would like to know, this is a question for DM. Do you think that the top-tier competitive teams should join together and form some sort of union and boycott certain tournaments without large prize pools, he can't type,
Yes.
and also be able to communicate with high-res, let's say once a week or so, discussing certain things such as map preferences. Of all the things.
Yes. I've
Yes.
actually talked about this on the forums before. And the idea of boycotting tournaments was brought to me a few times. But it's not that we should boycott. It's just it should be like a known fact. Like unless you're doing a prize, you should not be allowed. Like you shouldn't be allowed to post on the forums.
Well,
Like,
you
if you're
shouldn't be
just running
expected
a
to get
tournament-
teams, is a better way of putting it.
I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be expected to get teams to participate. It's like, if
Right. Well, I'm saying like on the forums where you post and advertise all your tournaments and on Reddit, you shouldn't be able to post that shit unless there's a prize, because it's just spam. Like there's a lot of people that say you can't post your stream up here.
Yeah.
Like you're spamming your stream only in this forum, only in this section, and only one time. I mean, for the same fact, like we shouldn't see you have a new tournament every week because you want your name on something. I mean,
Yeah.
coming from like the fighting game community and the Smash community, there are always people that are running random tournaments online for no reason all the time, just so people will talk to them. And it sucks that you don't have any friends, but I don't want to read your shit and have people take away from my prize pools because you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Uh-huh.
Interesting take.
Interesting.
I'm fascinated.
I am.
What's going on?
Hold on. Then he responds, why can't he? He's on his MacBook, so he doesn't sure have a mic. What about all the
Yes.
competitive teams that have what about all the competitive teams having... I did just fine a second ago. Fuck off. Having a say in what Hi-Res does with the game. We may have that now, but what about something that's scheduled where teams sit down with a few members of Hi-Res and discuss?
I see. Well, that's a lot of what's going on right now. Like for those of you who
Pretty
don't
much.
know, Erez or Erez, I don't know how to say his name.
Erez.
Erez, the guy
That's-
who is like the owner of Hi-Res.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got that. Look at that. Never said it out loud before.
Yeah.
He actually emailed a lot of us talking about what he wants to do with the competitive game,
Mhm.
and our feedback on it. And I think that's great. Like transparency is the #1 thing to make your game popular, aside from having like a Capcom logo on it. Because like, oh my God, Capcom can do whatever they want. Like they can steal from you and their game's popular. It's ridiculous. But so I think that's definitely going to be something we're going to see in the future. I think he's really taking to a lot of the competitive community. I mean, originally we saw like the worst streamers possible on the Hi-Res stream, and now they picked up Matty Pocket and Lassie's, both of whom I like a lot, and I think are both really excellent streamers and players. So it's good to see those kinds of things going down. In terms of like having direct control, that's a bad idea, because as soon as a player thinks they're not expendable, I mean, like,
Yeah,
as
that's what you're
as much as I love myself, I know for a fact that if Hi-Res wanted me gone, I'd disappear. And
Right.
having a player with like that much clout would be a really bad thing.
Yep. Just like having an employee with that much clout.
Indeed.
Yeah. PonPon or Alecyte, anybody else want to chime in on the...
Well,
That
the email that got sent out, the biggest thing that I liked was it wasn't just an email that sent out like outlining things. It was, I think all of us responded pretty much immediately.
Mhm.
And a lot of things I suggested, and I assumed a lot of other people suggested, you saw it like immediately reflected in like the follow-up.
Yeah.
And they changed the wording, they changed some of the other things, mainly the whole green and yellow being removed. I think everyone was like, just remove those in that first email.
Yep.
And then the second email follow up, and what you see on the forums now, it's like, yeah, Shield and Heal are going to be gone.
Well, what's
Yeah.
been
So-
great about it too is that his response. He's responded individually as well.
Yeah.
If you sent something in that he wanted to clarify to you on what you thought or something like that, or respond to it, he responds back to you personally, and
I
that's
think
been very nice.
It is.
I think
being
it's
the
really
CEO of a
important for people
company.
to do that. It's not even just if it's CEO. I mean, they could have the Lassies do it, and still, like the fact that someone on their payroll is spending their time talking to the players who play their game the most, like that's important. That's important stuff for the growth of a competitive community, to know that the company behind the game
Is
wants it
receptive.
to succeed as an esport.
Yeah.
Like, that's big.
It is. PonPon, what were you saying before?
I just think it comes to what he said pretty much, but coming from a CEO, I feel like it just has that much more of an impact of we really want this game to succeed. It's not just some lower down person taking their time. It's the CEO of the company.
Yeah, it's not just my way or the highway. I really want to know your opinion, and that's very important. So we'll get on to our next caller. As soon as I call him, I need to call him and then tell that after I have him on the phone. I'm getting better at that. It is TV. So what is your question and or comment?
Told you no Juice members. Oh, I'm not on Juice anymore, but
Oh,
okay. No, I love the show, but I have one question.
Sure.
With
Go for it.
the past couple patches, we've seen the metagame have complete turns.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, what do you guys think of Wukong middle? That's what I want to know.
I told you no Juice members.
Well, you guys can discuss it. It seems like a good idea.
Okay.
Maybe
Got
if
it.
he builds all focus points.
Yes, all focus points.
Please do not answer his question.
That's all I wanted to know. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Link
Thanks.
video. Wukong middle, noon meta. That's what it is, guys. Come on.
Wukong mid, yo.
Yep. So let's get. I don't want to hear enough. Hold on. Take this over for a second while I read this, because it's badly worded with no punctuation,
two
and I'm
sentences.
You know what's harder than my head? My fist.
Hooked on phonics.
Hey, it works for him. You know, whatever. Although I will say we do have some international viewers, and the things they say can be very.
It can be rather difficult to digest.
Yeah.
But no, he's not a foreign viewer either, so this is just really bad. Basically, is it smart that they reverted Cupid without actually fixing the damn buggy fixing how damn buggy he is right now? There we go. That's pretty much what he
Not
said.
that buggy.
Yeah, it's just one ability.
It's like
but
one thing.
yeah, and I think when I first read his abilities, in my personal opinion, he should have been released as an AP, but because he's defined his role as an AD, I think that's what he needs to stay. Changing him when he was already defined and we have so few AD carries already was just stupid in my opinion.
Yeah.
See, I think Freya is a really good just push forward in terms of like the movement of this game, because like you can build Freya to do whatever the hell you want. And I think Hi-Rez's goal was to show that Cupid is still an AD, but Heart Bomb shouldn't be killing people without you actually landing auto attacks. So, I mean, people, I think, just need to worry a little less about how a character is doing their damage and more about actually hitting people. Because that's where the damage should be coming from, actually landing attacks. Like, doing your ult and doing the most amount of damage with AP isn't that big of a deal compared to, like, I don't know, landing 2 auto attacks in a row instead of just being kited around creeps.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to see him stay AP. I think it would have been a really good thing, because we don't need AD carries. I'm like, that is a primarily League and Dota thing. We can have different things, and the game won't explode.
I mean, we can't have. What about our magic assassins?
Yeah.
Well, LeBlanc.
Why is your mic not working? Why do you keep breaking shit? Smack it. Anyway,
there
we shall get on to our...
My mic just, like, turned off.
You can assassinate with Rawls.
Yes. So we shall get on to our next caller here, who is Mr. Marky X. What is your question, sir? Or you wanted to ask about movement speed, right?
Oh, no. Yeah. As we all know, with the patch, they increased the movement speed by like 10%.
35.
35. Whatever. I like this change a lot, and I do think that it increases sort of like the skill gap between those who can't aim and those who can. But there's been some crap on the board saying that, oh, it's harder to hit with AoEs and so forth. And I was just wondering your guys' thoughts on that.
Like they can get out of Ymir's stun or ultimate faster, or hard.
Well, anything like dodging agony shots or anything really.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? PonPon, go first.
I've noticed a little bit on my 2, like if edge cases on my Kali 2, for example, like that normally would have hit, like for some reason aren't hitting. But I think that's more of a... I've been getting EU servers lately, and that's not so much the movement speed, because I'm also moving faster.
Yeah.
And that's an instant cast. I could see it being a problem on some, but it's not so huge to make a difference. I couldn't imagine just 35 movement speed being the difference between landing an AoE and not landing an AoE.
Yeah. Alecyte?
The difference would be like dodging like an Agni AoE, but like those AoE abilities are like cones and stuff like that. That shouldn't matter.
Yeah, or the instant damage one. Some of the magic casters don't have the, like, say, Ao Kuang, his tornado is not. You can be in that for a good half second before you even pick up that tick. And if you're going fast enough, you can just
the
run
Amir
right
ult is
through it.
even easier to avoid now.
Yeah.
Yeah, those can be harder.
So
And
is
the
that
buff
something
to
that
heaven and-
is that something that maybe they should increase the cast time of those to kind of compensate for the fact that they can get out of them faster? Or do you think that the buff, the speed increase was to help with that problem that maybe people weren't able to get out of them? Who knows? Anyone?
No, well, they have quite the opinions on this topic.
Alecyte?
I don't.
Go ahead, Cooper.
I don't think that's why the change was made at all. Because I mean, half a second, and it happened a lot, but it didn't happen as much as you getting hit by Ao Kuang's tornado. Like you would have to be out of position or extremely in position, to just be able to walk out of his tornado. Or you didn't see Ymir if he just ulted randomly. The team would have to be freezed or stunned first for his ultimate to actually hit, or some sort of blockade for that ultimate to hit. Now they can just kind of walk out. So I don't think it was made around that. I think it was just made to make the game faster. Honestly, I think they just wanted to make it faster, and what better way than movement speed?
Yeah. Anybody else have any comments? Good.
All right.
Glad you guys are so excited.
Well, it is late.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Markey. You had any other questions before you leave?
That's it.
That's it. Cool. Holy crap. We actually caught up to all of our callers.
I know.
All right.
Really?
Well, yep. We got through all of them.
Oh, questions.
Very-
Wow, look at that.
Success.
Go us.
That or we just bored them all to
know.
death. One of the two.
No. We can all just blame Alecyte.
Yes, we can.
Because we haven't even talked about his swords or his bow and arrows.
Right.
Jeez,
Oh my god.
what is wrong with us tonight?
Always.
Wait, what about him being Bieber? And the fact that we have two Biebers today.
We talked about Bieber earlier.
That was earlier.
Yeah.
That was in the pre-show.
That's okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
has anybody taken the moment to stop and look at Alecyte and PonPon? They could be brothers, especially with the haircut.
Nah.
They have the same haircut. And how old are
They
you?
have the same haircut.
Oh,
they were
come
both
on.
just shaking their finger, and they both said, nah, at the exact same time. I mean,
Like,
what more do you need?
I'm like a stick. Pon's actually like built. I'm like a stick.
No, it's
There's
all
a pretty
fashion,
big
Mitch.
difference.
I don't even lift.
You don't even lift, bro. You don't even lift.
Don't even lift.
You know, actually, who is the heaviest person here? I'm curious. I'm 175.
This sounds fun.
Yeah. I'm 420.
Let's move away.
Oh.
It's like, this is one I don't want to win.
Actually, who's the tallest here?
I'm the shortest.
That's a good question.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I'm
only
6
feet.
I know he's taller than me by just like an inch.
Yeah.
I'm 5'5".
6'2".
Yeah.
5'5"?
I
Yeah,
say,
I'm 5'5".
I say DMBrandon's Cloud Flower is the tallest.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Stermes, how tall are you?
6 feet.
Really? Huh.
Yeah,
You look
doesn't
very
he look
short.
taller?
You
No?
look shorter sitting
I'm
in that
sitting
chair.
down in a-
It's the yellow hoodie.
It's the yellow hoodie.
Yeah, it's obviously the hoodie.
It is. What is on that hoodie? I must know what the yellow hoodie says.
It says my school name.
Okay. He's not going to show it. Okay.
He was about to. He's like, no.
Good enough.
I'll show you this.
Stalkers,
I
I'll
don't
have
even stock
stalkers.
today, okay? Maybe next week.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up and let everybody get their shout-outs in. So I guess we'll leave the team guys for last, so we'll go from the left to the right, so the non-team member people first. So, Kennedy, go for it. What do you have to be not thankful for?
All
Because
right.
it is not Thanksgiving.
Shout outs. Okay. Let's shout out to the test server we got going. Let's everyone just jump over there. And let's get playing that as soon as
Word,
possible.
yo.
Very nice.
Heck yeah.
Anything else? You don't
Do you
exist
do anything
otherwise.
else?
Fine.
No
Fine.
friends.
You want me to just rain off things? Follow
Yes.
me on Twitter at JKKennedy TV, website JKKennedy TV, YouTube JKKennedy TV.
You
There.
could have just said JKKennedy TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. That's all you had to say, and then everybody would know.
And then like flash some gang signs. Or
Yeah,
something.
you know, like
a J and a K.
like a J and a TV, or like there you go, like a TV.
There's TV.
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
J. See, it's a JTV. So you're like Justin TV, right? Exactly. Cooper, how do you go next? Go for it.
How do you go next?
How do you?
How
go
do I
next?
go now? You tell me.
You open your mouth and let language come from it that is understandable.
Okay. I mean, I don't really have shout-outs other than you guys for letting me on the show. I can't say it's always fun because it's the first time, but hopefully it will always be fun. I get on more and everything. But,
so are you saying it was fun, or are you saying it wasn't fun? I'm
No,
not
he's
sure.
saying it was fun.
It was fun. I can't say it's always fun.
Yeah,
okay.
he's saying
First
it was
time.
fun. He says we might suck in the future,
Ah,
but
thank
today
you.
we're doing well.
Thank you for that vote of confidence.
It's definitely a lot different when there's this many people on. You have to try it when there's less people.
Yeah. It's just, there's so many big things. Continue.
Not a shout out, but hopefully Monday, with the start of the playoffs, goes very, very smoothly. And there's a lot of great projects coming up in SMITE. So
Yes, there are.
shout out to all 115 of you guys watching. Without you guys, I wouldn't be talking right now because there'd be no shows.
Exactly.
That's what he thinks.
Yeah, that's what you think. We've done. What do you think beyond the?
It'd be a show with no
Oh,
people
shut
watching.
up.
You shut up to
Alecyte.
yourself.
What do you got for us, sir? Alecyte.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah, your
I
turn.
didn't hear my name. Well, Twitch TV/Alecyte. I became a mod on Reddit today. I'm pretty happy about that. Pretty cool. And then a lot of behind-the-scenes projects that should be released in the next few weeks that I'll hopefully be coming out with. One, I guess I'm the CEO of, whatever. I mean, whatever you want to call that. But so cool projects coming out, and hopefully we'll have that going up within the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so on to the team, guys. Pon, you go.
Shout out to my entire team. My Twitch is PonPonWeiWeiWei, spelled the way you see it on screen. Also, I want to give a shout out to someone who's making a really cool site. It's called SMITEratings.com, and he's doing a really good job. It's hosting a ton of data, and he's parsing like every single game, and he let me know like how many players are actually playing the game. Which is really cool, and it's in a few 10,000s, like 70,000 around-ish is the player count.
Nice.
So he's providing really cool service there. So SMITEratings.com, and then a caster named Inuki, who has the most ridiculous high-quality production value on a video ever.
I agree.
Like, it's crazy.
Yes.
I agree. He's a lot like Total Biscuit, is what I kind of think of him as.
His voice is really, really good.
It's really
Yeah.
British.
It's like if you
Yeah, that
mix
too.
anime and Total Biscuit together, that's what you get.
With Inuki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, you're up next.
So I have a friend of mine that I want to give a shout out to. We call him Black Waltz, right? I actually posted his stream up in your stream. His name is I'm the Strongest. He's a League player, and he's currently in the Navy. He's going to be going into a submarine, like under the ocean.
That's
and
where
it
they go.
sucks,
Versus
kind of,
those,
even though
like,
he's gonna make like a
flying.
ton of money, because he is one of the best solo queue League players in the world. He ended season 2 at like 9th.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, really, really impressive stuff. And right now, I think he's like 5th. He was 1st for a while, but he actually got 1 loss and dropped down to like 4th because it's still early season. But I want everyone, if you watch League, check this guy out. His top lane play is out. He's one of the best top lanes I've ever seen. I mean, I follow a decent amount of League. So check him out. Otherwise, and this is going to be a first for me, but big shout-outs to Hi-Rez. Because every change that I've asked them to make in terms of how they're running this game has been made. And I'm talking about, like, I want to see them become more transparent. I want to see them talking to their players. I want to see them really talking to us about what should be changed. And Erez is doing such a great job of that, and I couldn't really ask for more. So, good shit.
Nice. I think the world may explode because there are plenty of people here that are probably like, what did he just say? Exactly. Go ahead, Stermes. Your turn.
Big shout out to the whole VLG community.
Thank you.
Since I've been with them since basically the beginning of my SMITE career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big shout out to PCG, Procore Gaming, my new team, Barb, my lane partner, who's King of the Rage. Shout out to Sparks and Zatman, those bastards living together. Who else is there? I'm trying to remember now. There's a lot of people.
Well,
shout out to High Rock, Spoo, those guys I've been playing with since the beginning, also, even though we've sort of split off.
And Arena Tank.
And Arena Tank, whatever.
Oh, whatever. You know, that guy.
He's the guy that plays mid. He just does whatever he wants.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That other guy I play with. Who is it? No.
Apparently, Cooper's house is on fire. He must keep getting up.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Wearing his Hollister shirt. We can pick on him. Well, he's back. We can't talk about him anymore.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Demon, did you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Of course I have shout-outs.
Do you? Wow. Do it.
All right. I want to thank all of you people here who are our guests. Thank you for coming on with us. I mean, I can't ask for better guests, and Brandon for constantly interrupting everybody, but, you know, you're still a great guy, and I love you.
It's not my fault that everyone's wrong about everything all the time.
Yes, it is. It's always your fault because they're wrong. That's why. They're here to be wrong to irritate you. So thank you guys for being on the show. Thank you, everybody who's participated and done it very cordially. Thank you all for all the callers who called in. Please go to BL Gaming because we are just working on building you the best community we can. We want to give you the most news and information. So if there's something that is going on that needs to be known by everybody that's especially competitive, it's been posted on our site. You know, if it hasn't, then it will be there in about 5 seconds. You know, that's kind of the way it rolls. So that's all I can do is, you know, I just want to try and boost up the site as much as we can. Please do come and join us. Just join the discussion. We have much less idiots on our forums than Hi-Rez's trolley forums, as many people have been noticing lately that it seems to be kind of going down. More people are getting in, more people are noobs, so, you know, you got to deal with all of that. Revel, do you have any shout-outs?
I do. Check out BLGaming.com. We have guides. We have an awesome ladder system that if you're on a pro team or your pro team has changed in the last few weeks since you've registered, let us know so that we can still track your progress, which is really cool. You can go on there, especially after tournaments and stuff, you can see who's really winning stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really obvious who's the best. For the most part, there's some weird discrepancies. But, yeah, we have games. We're working on making our site even more awesome. So check it out, BLGaming.com. And tune in next week, same time, same place.
Next week.
For our awesome show.
We will be doing, that pretty much wraps it up. So we may tentatively, we're going to be doing Q&As with Hi-Rez soon. We're going to try and like shoot for like a monthly thing.
Sure.
And so tentatively for next week, we're going to have on Duke likely. So please do tune in for that, where we will be able to ask community questions to Duke and ask him what's going on, different stuff like that. So that's on the docket for the time. It's been penciled in, so if he can make it, it'll be great. If not, then we'll have plenty of good guests.
And in the week after that, it's my birthday, so there will be cake and beer.
Cake and beer.
I'm going carb heavy that night.
Oh, boy.
It will be awesome.
All right, well, thank you all for joining us. And, of course,
peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wukong mid.
Wukong mid.
Exactly.
Shout outs to Wukong.
Yes.
Even when he's kind of balanced, he's causing problems.
Why is that not restarting? Whatever.